He's like, I didn't understand this record until I saw them perform it on SNL. Johnny Greenwood had the patchboard unplugging wires.
The big modular synthesizer.
Yeah, and then going, oh, they're doing full, like, weird science. Hey everybody, welcome back to AWOLNATION's Totally Committed podcast, episode whatever this is. And we are joined today by a very special co-host, Eric Stenman from the Barbarians of California. I also am in that band. Check them out. Check us out. And so we're going to go through these answers. Thanks for being here, Eric.
Thanks for having me.
My favorite song? Jesus. You're like, it's really interesting. Oh God. Oh my God.
Take your time. Don't be nervous, you know.
Oh my God. There Is a Light That Never Goes Out by the Smiths. Probably is my favorite song.
Take me out tonight, where there's music and there's people and the young and the light.
It speaks to me. I've always just felt kind of like a black sheep wherever I go. I know I've achieved a lot in my life, but I still always kind of just feel othered, and that song kind of feels like the, you know, that sort of wandering, I don't want to go home, but I'm not ready to stay at, like, kind of vibe, and trying to find your people. It's like that anthem. So, yeah, it speaks to me in that way. Kind of like losery vibes, even though I'm totally not a loser, but you still have that feeling when you're a kid of just like kind of feeling othered and shit.
That's Tyler, the entry singer, great singer.
The first thing that I was struck by is that I didn't even consider the Smiths Morrissey catalog when I was trying to come up with my answer, and that almost just opens up such a can of worms. I love so much of the Smiths and those first probably 3 or 4 Morrissey records.
Well, do you have a favorite? Would you agree with him on that? Would you put that song in your top 5 favorite?
That's a great choice. I can't dispute that.
I could tell you're a Morrissey fan. You know, you just have that nice vibe. Like kind of smarter than all of us.
Love Moz.
Cool enough to understand Morrissey. Anyways.
All right, this girl's in our video. I don't
That's
know
true.
who this
That's
is.
true.
So.
My favorite song is a tie between The Window by Steve Miller Band, or the winner that I chose is Any Color You Like by Pink Floyd. For so many reasons, but to me, it transcends time and space. I believe it's based off of the Henry Ford quote, any color you like, so long as it's black. So it's kind of that tongue-in-cheek British humor that people kind of miss about Pink Floyd. But I think it speaks for itself, therefore it doesn't need any lyrics. I feel like I'm a very visual person as an artist, so I think I can see the song more so than hear it. I feel it. Personally, it takes me back to when I was 13 years old in my room, and not to get all doom and gloom on you, but my brother just passed away at that time, and I was a very angsty kid, you know, gauging my ears at the time and playing my bass and trying to just be mad at the world and rebel with a lot of causes. And so for me now, it makes me feel healed and grown and just more like it's about the journey, you know? So, yeah. Thank you. No problem. Thank you guys.
Well, sometimes you get an answer that is so good that you don't really have much to add to. That was one of my favorite answers. I would put her so far on this journey in my top 5 answers. I find a commonality, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like a majority of these answers come around that early teenage, 12, 13, 14, 15, where we're all discovering how we want to dress, how we want to talk, the friends that we're going to bond with.
One thing I'd point out, I think we're all guilty of loving the music that we listen to from like 18 to 25, and every generation thinks that's the kind of the pinnacle. She's choosing something that's before her time, but it still really resonated, and you know, obviously she was listening to it at a time in her life when she was going through something. So yeah, great
I also
answer.
like the visual element too, that she sees that song more than she hears it. That's really cool.
I have to go listen to that song some more now.
Yeah.
God, I can only think of one at the moment, but I'm not quite sure if that's my favorite song. That's a really tricky.
Well, it is because it's not necessarily what the best song is.
You know what
it's
it
what's
is?
your
Brian Klein.
favorite song and why.
One of my first managers.
And it relates to kind of when we first met or we were working together, and that Kid A record came out.
Totally.
You know, and it's everything in its right everything in its right place in the right
Everything's
place.
right place, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a weird time because you had 9/11, that whole thing. It was a very cold record in a way, that Kid A record, and just the intro of that. It's the kind of song that makes the back of my hair stand up in my neck.
I know Brian, he was my manager at the time, and he actually had somehow found an advanced copy of Kid A, so we got to listen to it before it came out. And of course, that is the first song. You had OK Computer, which changed everything in music. It got everybody to, it certainly got me to rethink everything I was doing. I was in a hardcore band that Eric recorded, actually. And I remember thinking when that came out, and I was starting to, flirt with the idea of singing and not just screaming. And yeah, OK Computer comes out, and then I just realized, I got to do better. This is what I'm doing isn't pushing any boundaries whatsoever. And I want to broaden the color of the music I'm making in every way. And so that just flipped everything on its head. It's considered one of the first real Pro Tools records, right?
I don't know that. I always have that as Soundgarden and Nevermind.
Okay, right.
But
I think
it's
they
same
used
era.
Pro Tools as a weapon and an instrument, perhaps. But anyway, so then Kid A comes out as the big follow-up to this groundbreaking album. I'm not messing that. Amnesiac's after
Yeah,
Kid A.
that's my understanding.
I love Amnesiac too, but anyway, so Kid A comes out and we're like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? And they open the track with that mellow, beautiful song. I think I smoked like 10 bong rips before I heard it for the first time too. And so that was overwhelming. And yeah, I mean, just what a warm anthem in a lot of ways. I do remember our friend of the pod, Darren Doan, saying, he's like, I didn't understand this record until I saw them perform it on SNL. And Johnny Greenwood had the patch board unplugging wires. And
The big modular synthesizer.
yeah, and then going, they're doing full like weird science on TV, and Tom freaking out. And Radiohead is one of the greatest bands of all time. They have some of the best songs ever written, and there's no denying that. But anyways, I'm grateful for that answer.
Well, that's actually, for me, that's an easy one. Back in Black, AC/DC. Not only is it my favorite band, but I have a long story that I'll make short, but my buddy Jerome Snyder, who I grew up with in a small town outside of Buffalo, New York, it was the first song that I actually sat down behind the drums with a friend of mine in my garage, and we attempted to learn, and I attempted to hack my way through, and to this day, it's still my favorite song of all time. I love it. It changed my life. That's it. That's my answer.
I think I once heard Dave Grohl say that if you want to get good at drums or learn how to play drums, you learn how to play that album front to back, because it's simple, refined, and powerful.
And is it true there's no cymbals? It's been stated to me that drummer would not hit a cymbal. And I don't know. I shouldn't even bring this up without knowing this for sure. But that's an amazing feat if it is true. But
I think the opening, if you hear it in your head, has a crash to start the whole thing. Or like before he sings the first line, Back in Black, I hear a crash in there. This will be a good test.
Yeah. It's such a great story that stuck with me, and it could be completely false. And
I also like those false stories.
Yeah.
Those weird rumors. What's your favorite AC/DC song?
I love the Jailbreak record. I couldn't even tell you which song. As a guitar player, there's just an instinctual attraction to AC/DC, the simplicity and yet the just brutal effectiveness of their guitar. And I think rock and roll, there's certain forks in the road of rock and roll, and AC/DC would be one of them, I think, in the guitar world.
Definitely.
The tone, the attack of the guitars is just unmatchable.
And relatable and possible to play.
Yeah.
You know, not to take anything away from the guitar playing, and some of it's really complicated, but you could practice a lot if you have talent on guitar and get there. You can get closer, you know, than let's say like a Van Halen guitar solo. That's
everyone can play some version of AC/DC riffs, but you'll never sound like Angus.
No,
but yes, it's a good entry point.
My favorite song's Thunderstruck, only because the video was so horrifying. They're in this weird like Coliseum, and that was a new drummer on that record, right?
I don't even know.
Yeah, the ball guy. And he
My name is David Munn, and my favorite song of all time is Bohemian Rhapsody. And this is way before Wayne's World made it popular. It made me start playing guitar. That guitar solo just inspired me to play guitar for the rest of my life. And I can't get through that song without crying.
Probably cried a lot then.
I'll make an embarrassing revelation. I knew the song before Wayne's World, but not enough. Like Wayne's World really broke that song into the world, and I'm one of those people.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah, that's just the reality. And you know what a monstrous feat, and especially with the technology they had at that time. You know, I've heard this. We've all heard the stories. The stories of the tape machines wearing thin because they ran them so many times and that sort of stuff. So for that song to have been completed in the way it was and to sound as amazing as it does, it's just a monstrous feat. You know, so yeah, no one can fight that answer.
And it probably enters into the category of best song of all time. Best song of all time. Well, that concludes this episode of Totally Committed with guest host Eric Stemman, the great Eric Stemman, the brainchild behind the Barbarians of California. And so thanks for checking it out.
Thanks for having me.
Come on, give me your right hand.